Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
Gypsy Rose. You've heard her name, you've seen the headlines, and I bet you've even watched some of the interviews. It's a story about deception, abuse, and the relentless pursuit of freedom. But what if there's more to the story? What if Gypsy Rose could share her experiences and her emotions and her thoughts in her own words away from the media frenzy? What if Gypsy Rose started her own podcast? I mean, she's no stranger to adapting. She dove into social media right after her release from prison. So why not a podcast? In this video, we're going to dive into why Gypsy Rose could have one of the top trending podcasts, how she could create it by herself from the comfort of her own home, and how you can too, and how she can make some money from her show. Now, of course, this video isn't just about Gypsy Rose, it's about how anyone can tell their story easily. So hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell, and let's dive into the fascinating world of what really could be the next big podcast sensation. First of all, to make sure we're all on the same page here, who is Gypsy Rose? Gypsy Rose Blanchard gained public attention due to a highly publicized case involving her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard, who had Munchausen syndrome by proxy. What the heck is that? This disorder involves a caregiver inducing or feigning illness in a person under their care. So Gypsy Rose was a victim of her mother's abuse, enduring unnecessary medical treatments.
My mother controlled everything I did. I was forced to use a wheelchair. She started telling people that I had cancer.
But none of it was true.
In 2015, she orchestrated her mother's murder with her then boyfriend.
We have breaking news. The body of 48-year-old Claudinia Blanchard has been found inside her home in Springfield.
The case sparked widespread media coverage and interest, leading to documentaries and dramatizations of the story.
Hey everyone, this is Gypsy. I'm finally free.
Gypsy Rose was just recently released from prison and is now telling her story through media coverage and interviews. So, imagine a podcast where Gypsy Rose tells her story, humanizing herself and allowing listeners to connect with her on a level beyond the headlines. I mean, she's intelligent, she's articulate, and she possesses a story that has the world on edge. So the question is, what if she took control and shared her narrative in the way that she wants to? If Gypsy Rose were to start a podcast, this is exactly a breakdown of how she, and you, can do it. The first thing to consider here is planning a comprehensive podcast that flows from episode to episode. If you have a fully developed story to tell, like Gypsy Rose does, there are a couple ways I would consider formatting it. First of all, before getting overwhelmed, just simply commit to releasing one season to start. Let's say 10 episodes. Start by thinking of the ultimate goals. So for Gypsy Rose, we know this is 1, to tell her story, and 2 is to educate others in similar situations about how to deal with it and how to get out of it in a healthier way. So from this, if she was planning 10 episodes, she should dedicate a good chunk of these episodes to telling her story. There are tons of ways this can be done. For example, with Gypsy Rose's story, it could be in chronological order of her life, or she could have different episodes focused on different diseases she was told that she had and how it impacted her. This would really be up to personal preference. Then it would be really cool to have a few interview or conversational episodes with others who have been in similar situations. This provides the audience with more awareness than just Gypsy Rose's story. And the last episode could be a Q&A session. Throughout the release of the episodes, she could gather questions from listeners that can be answered in the final episode, which is going to help her connect with the audience and allow her to tell more of her story based on audience curiosity. By formatting this first season in 3 different ways, storytelling, interviews, and Q&As, Gypsy Rose will be able to have an overview of what type of episode performed the best, giving her more insight for how to format her next season, should she decide to continue. Perhaps people love the storytelling episodes and have questions about each part of her journey, to which she goes in more depth in the second season. Or maybe the audience loves hearing about other stories, so she could focus on that. The analytics will help her figure this out after the release of the first season. I honestly have so many ideas for this, so Gypsy Rose, if you're watching and need a brainstorming buddy, hit me up. Okay, so once she has her season planned out, she'll want to plan the format of her episodes. This could go something like this. To start, an engaging quote from the episode to capture attention. Then an introduction, where she introduces the podcast and gives a brief overview of what will be covered in the episode. Then she would move on to the bulk of the episode, either a story or a conversation. Lastly, she would move on to the outro, where she sums up the episode and gives call to actions for her viewers and listeners to subscribe to the show and any other announcements that she has. So at this point, Gypsy Rose would plan out her episode scripts to prepare for recording. Now, equipment. This is the best cheap podcast setup. You'll need a mic. We recommend the ATR 2100X. The Shure MV7 is also great, but a bit more of an investment. It's also important to remember to get a pop filter that fits your mic. This is going to help with audio quality. Next, a device to record on. This could be a laptop, a phone, or a tablet. In this video, we're going to be focusing on how to record on a laptop, but I'll link a video above if you're more interested in mobile recording. The best laptop for podcasting is the MacBook Pro, but the software that we're going to use is web-based and will work on any laptop. Next up, a video capture device. Yes, you can use your built-in webcam on your device. However, a phone is your best bet. You can use an app to connect your phone as an external webcam to your computer. If you have a Mac and an iPhone, you can use your iPhone camera wirelessly with your computer using continuity camera. If you are using your phone as a webcam, you'll also need some sort of tripod or a little doohickey like this that will mount your phone to your computer. If you're recording with others, you'll need a pair of headphones. Any pair of wired headphones lying around the house will do. If you want a good pair, I recommend the ATH M20X. Lastly, you'll want a Riverside.fm subscription. You can try out the platform for 2 hours for free, but after that you'll have to upgrade based on your needs. All right, let's get into recording. Once you log into your Riverside account, you're going to want to create a new studio for your podcast. So head to New Studio, name your studio. Let's call this one Gypsy Rose, the real story. Ooh. Select audio and video. Your transcription language should be set to whatever you're recording in. I will be recording in English, and then enter the studio. On this page, you can choose the equipment that you want to record with. So I'm going to choose the ATR 2100X, and I'm going to choose Bridget's iPhone camera, which I'm going to use continuity camera between my Mac and my iPhone. Now my iPhone camera is capturing my video. Enter your name here, and select if you are or are not using headphones, and join the studio. Now, if you're inviting a guest to the recording, you can do that here by either copying this link or inviting by email. If you invite by email, Riverside will send your guest a personalized email that will link them to the studio and give them some best practices for recording on Riverside. Now, I'm not inviting anybody to this recording, so I would simply exit out of that, and you'll be able to see your full frame view of your recording. You want to make sure you're positioned nicely within the frame, with your face being in the upper middle section of the frame. Now, you can use this script feature at the bottom and add your script or your podcast outline in, and this will help you stay on track throughout the recording without having to switch tabs. When you're ready to record, simply press record. The software will count down to allow you to get ready to record. Gypsy Rose. You've heard her name, you've seen the headlines, and I bet you've even watched some of the interviews. We're going to dive into why Gypsy Rose could have one of the top trending podcasts, how she could create it by herself from the comfort of her own home, and how she can make some money from her show. When you're done the recording, you would simply just end the recording, and you'll see the recording uploading right here to the cloud. Now, once it's fully uploaded, you can select View Recordings. You can download the high-quality audio and video files from here to use on an external editor. You can share the link to this page to an editor so that they can access the files as well, or you can use the Riverside editor. This is extremely straightforward, and your full episode can be finalized without ever leaving the Riverside platform. I'll link a video above on how to use the Riverside editor. Once the video is edited together, it will be ready to upload to a podcast hosting platform. My personal favorite, because it's free and it supports video podcasts, is Spotify for podcasters. I also want to highlight two features on this recording page. Now, you won't see it actually working for me because the recording has to be more than 5 minutes long, which with any podcast episode it usually is. So this feature will work for you, but I just did a little recording just to get an example done. So the first thing that I want to highlight is this magic clips feature. If your recording was longer than 5 minutes, there will be a generate clips button here where Riverside will use AI to generate a bunch of clips from your recording optimized for various social media platforms. So this gives you tons of content to share on your social media sites, and they can be edited and branded to your podcast style. And we all know Gypsy's really getting into her social media now, so this would be a great way to promote her show. Now, I also want to highlight our AI show notes feature. So again, if your episode was longer than 5 minutes, you would have a button here to generate AI show notes. This will be generated based on your episode transcript, and you can use it when you publish your episode. You can also repurpose these show notes into various types of written content and social media content. I'll link a video above on how you can do that. Easy peasy, right? Honestly, Gypsy could have one of the top trending podcasts right now. And don't even get me started if she wanted to make some money from this thing. Honestly. She could do this by adding pre-roll ads, mid-roll ads, and post-roll ads throughout her episode, where she promotes her own content, like her documentary or a book if she were to write one. She could run ads for things that resonate with her audience, like legal services, or self-help products, or mental health services. She could also post her show on YouTube and monetize that way. She could create bonus episodes or clips of unknown facts that engaged audience members can access through a membership platform like Patreon. There are tons of ways Gypsy could make some money off of this thing. So that all ties into why Gypsy Rose should make a podcast. And now you know how she, and you, can create one easily from the comfort of your own home. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I love answering those questions. I answer them personally. And thanks for watching this video. My name is Bridget, and I'll see you next time.